Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. This is Mary Esther Gilbert, nutritional science researcher and nutritional physiologist, holistic nutritional healing specialist. I am so excited for the presentation we're going to have for you tonight. So new people who haven't been to my channel before, welcome to the channel. Thank you for the returning people who are here again. So tonight we're going to be going over detoxification. There's so much misinformation out there, and people are damaging their health when they do things that the body does not tolerate or doesn't understand. So there's no fast way to do this. So I'm going to explain exactly why. So we have to understand how the human body works, right? So that's what I'm going to be doing tonight. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so I can start our presentation. Okay, so there's the hazards of detoxing, what to avoid. So we're going to be going over information like detoxification methods. We're going to analyze this and what stimulates the detoxification processes in the body with its own self detoxification ability and capacity. And then we have different detoxification methods that we'll mention that actually cause much more toxic reactions than the detox method itself often. So then we're going to be talking about detoxing naturally, the body's 5 eliminative channels, the different organ systems that help the body get rid of toxins. And also we're going to be looking at why fasting isn't a good idea and how the body actually will start wasting away if you fast for too long. And of course, there's always health consequences. And those are the very serious consequences that we're going to be discussing also. So I'm going to be, as usual, introducing the wonderful kingdom of the plant kingdom, these excellent, well-researched botanicals that help the body keep toxins out. Let me go ahead and mute Carol there. Okay. All right. So then we have daily cleansing, purifying capacity of the body. So we'll be going over all that information. Okay. So what is detoxification? Let's define that. It's the process of removing a poison or toxin or the effect of either from an area or an individual. So detoxification could be in the environment or it could be in your own biological terrain. Converting toxic parent compounds to non-toxic metabolites. So the way the body works is it'll take apart and whatever botanicals you might be putting in your body have been shown to actually bind to these synthetic chemicals that we pick up along the way. They're everywhere. And so molecularly speaking, they will bind to these molecules of these toxic chemicals and help the body just dissipate the molecules so that they're more easily eliminated out of the body. So all reactions that consume toxic metabolites or biochemicals are produced under stress reactions. So the body produces toxins also when it's under stress, and they disrupt normal metabolic processes. So these, the detoxification processes, they may or may not produce injury. So we'll be taking a look at all these causes. So here are some causes of toxicity. Any chemical exposure that causes a physical or health hazard to humans and the environment. And so they could be in the form of neurotoxins. They damage or disrupt the nervous system functioning and the brain as well. Then we have these immune agents or medications like immunosuppressants, immunomodulators, and immunostimulants. So they work with the immune system in the body and either suppress an inflammatory or a toxic reaction, or they help the immune system modulate, meaning, regulate it so that it knows exactly what to do with it next. And the immunostimulant, so something that stimulates the immune cells, the white blood cells in the body, the different kinds of white blood cells that the body produces to go into the area and start taking things apart. Okay, so then we've got dermatologic agents, things that drugs that are applied topically to the skin, and some of these synthetics that are in a lot of these, even suntan lotions or regular body lotions, anything that you apply to the skin. These synthetics have been they can be absorbed into the system. So they go through the capillaries in the skin and they enter the bloodstream in the system. So they can deposit themselves anywhere, in the body. They can form plaques. They can form all these toxins that will destroy the cells in the body. So they can, once they hit the bloodstream, they can be distributed anywhere. Carcinogens or cancer-causing, chemicals. reproductive toxins, adversely affecting fertility, well, where did that come from? Fertility, growth and development, and sexual function. Then we've got systemic toxins, any toxic substance that circulates throughout the body through the bloodstream, damaging organs and body systems. Then we have the asthmagens, substances that cause asthma, like occupational asthma. If you're a firefighter or if you're in a factory and you're inhaling, dust from toxic chemicals or something, then it can develop asthma as well. Then we have the pneumoconiosis agents, inhalation of inorganic material like beryllium and talc, sulfur dioxide, ammonia, benzene, all these toxic chemicals that can actually cause severe injury to the lungs. And we have sensitizers also. They cause allergic reactions on the skin or respiratory system after repeated exposure. So anything that your body becomes sensitive to causes an allergic reaction. So repeated exposure is even worse than, one or a few times of an exposure to your body. All right, so more examples of these are like paints or cleaning chemicals, detergents, even soap detergents, clothing detergents, things like that. Pesticides, herbicides, those are well known to be neurotoxins and disrupt the hormonal system. Reproductive health, they've interfered with all kinds of body systems. Diesel fuel, try not to inhale that. Asbestos, formaldehyde, epoxy resins. I've seen people who work with furniture and applying the resins have, gotten cancers from that kind of thing. So then we've got metals like nickel, chromium, and cobalt. Now, these might be in the micro form in plants. The body actually can use some of these very, very minute particles in the system. And that hasn't been studied very extensively through the scientific research, arena. So, but when they're in their elemental form, they are extremely toxic. So it depends on the molecular structure and even the atomic structure, the submolecular structures, and how the electrons are flowing through these living plants, things like that. So we have to understand the difference and how our body absorbs something like that. So now we have municipal waste like polyethylene, metal casings, electronic refuse, and all these other things that end up in the landfills or in the water. Industrial, commercial, military, laboratory, hospital wastes, vaccinations. Now, I can't go too far into this unless we are on a different channel. I can't say that on YouTube, so I cannot go into the V word on this channel. But I can certainly make a video on it, but I have to put it on a less censored, channel. Okay, so many of these toxic chemicals, they're not biodegradable. They don't disintegrate and become inert or harmless in the environment, and they certainly don't do that in the body. They persist in the environment. They contaminate our air, water, and soil. And here we are, breathing in the water, breathing in the air, drinking the water. Do not drink tap water because there are more contaminants in that tap water than you realize. If you look at your municipal website and look at the test results of your tap water, you will be horrified. That's why do not, at this point in time, recommend people drinking tap water. There are micro filters that you can get, like the Berkey water filter that has that will eliminate just about every single toxin because of the micrometer, size particles that it will filter out. And a lot of these toxic chemicals, they are that tiny. So normal, anything that you buy at the grocery store, if you want to filter your water and you just buy a unit, they usually are not nearly they do not filter out these contaminants at all, so it depends on the size of the molecule. So many are not biodegradable. They're a serious health threat to humans, and they adversely affect the plant life and the animals in any habitat. So now we've got hazardous chemical classifications. Now, see, I'm introducing to you all the possible, some, I should say, because there are thousands, literally, variations of all of these that I've mentioned tonight. So we are actually being exposed to this, and it's a generational thing. Every generation has accumulated more and more of these toxins in the body, where newborns are born with a couple of hundred at least of these. And that was the data that I saw 10 years ago, and I'm sure it's probably more. With every generation, we've accumulated these toxins. So And I'm going to introduce, there's hope here. I'm not a naysayer and leaving you without any solutions. There's definitely solutions here, and they're scientifically proven. And I'll show you the science about that. So these botanicals on this planet are literally our lifesavers. Okay, so I'm just going to introduce to you a little bit more of these hazardous chemicals. So there's two different classifications of the chemicals: organic and inorganic. So the organic are things like polychlorinated hydrocarbons, polycyclous aromatic hydrocarbons. So these are extremely, they're volatile, but they are more easily dissipated and taken apart because of their organic nature. And also there are polychlorinated biphenyls. And then there's vinyl chloride, carbon tetrachloride, paraquat, and polychlorinated biphenyls. So these are extremely toxic to the environment if we cannot break them down. And a lot of the industries now are finding out ways to actually break these things down using plant materials. So you see already we have something that is in nature that will solve some of these problems. So we have inorganic, like the heavy metals, mercury, arsenic, cadmium, lead. These are extremely dangerous. We do not want to be exposed to these elemental minerals, or metals, I'm sorry. And then we have the xenobiotics. Those are the chemical substances that are very hard to metabolize and are foreign to an organism, like drugs, pesticides, industrial chemicals, all these other pollutants, right? So yeah, our bodies cannot recognize a lot of these things on how to utilize them to maintain its own cell structure. We've got multiple trillions of cells, and the only thing the body understands in order to maintain itself properly and protect itself is through nutrients. So a lot of these things are just not are just foreign substances to the body. So some of them are transformed in the environment into more toxic compounds, leading to environmental degradation. So some of them are forever chemicals that last thousands of years. So hopefully we'll have, somebody in the scientific industry, right, to come forward and figure out how to detoxify the earth and get rid of these forever chemicals in our environment. So what are detoxes and what are cleanses? I put them in quotes because of the science, and I'll tell you about the science in a bit. There's a variety of detoxification diets and regimens and therapies, also known as detoxes and cleanses. There are suggested as ways to remove toxins from the body. Notice how the scientists say they're suggested. They're suggested for losing weight or promoting health. So anytime you have a holistic approach and there isn't any scientific research behind it, then it's something that you should question. Because if there's no research behind some of these, then it's likely to be a danger to your health, and it's likely to not do you any good at all. So we have in the medical industry, there's chelation therapy. It's a chemical detoxification medical procedure, and it's designed to remove the toxic metals from the body in some serious cases, heavy metal poisoning, and for certain conditions due to iron overload. So if a person takes in one supplement that has only iron in it, chances are it's going to load up on the liver, cause toxic liver, and create all sorts of toxic problems in the bloodstream. So take in your iron in the whole food form. And not even the supplement companies will add iron in their supplements. If they do, then stay away from that supplement, unless they have whole foods in there and they're listing all the nutrients that are in the whole foods in their supplement, then that's different because it's in a different form, as I mentioned earlier. All right, so now detoxification programs are offered at all these health centers. They're like a naturopathic treatment thing. Things like fasting, drinking only juices or similar beverages, eating only certain foods, using dietary supplements or commercial products, using herbs, cleansing the colon, the lower intestinal tract, the gut, with enemas or laxatives or colon hydrotherapy, also called colonic irrigation or colonics therapy. And then we have reducing environmental exposures, just keeping away from certain toxins, the ones that we've already mentioned, using a sauna, the theory is that you'll sweat them out, nasal irrigation. That sounds very uncomfortable to me. Intestinal cleansing. So, some of the intestinal cleansing is valid when you have whole foods and you have botanicals that are found, scientifically known, to bind to toxic chemicals and help eliminate a lot of the gunk that forms in the body. So it can include a high fiber supplement, to be used daily for several weeks. Now, see, this is where I have a problem. In the 45 years that I've been helping people get rid of toxins in the body, I have never advocated any kind of detoxification program because the body knows how to do it. All you have to do is provide it with the cleansing botanicals. They're phytochemical compounds in plants in nature that are built in to bind to these toxic chemicals, help the immune system break them down so you can eliminate them through the different eliminative organs in the body. So that's the safest way to do it, gradually, not suddenly, because if you do it suddenly, it'll dump these toxins right into the bloodstream and it'll create flu-like symptoms, all kinds of things. And I'm getting to that. Okay, I'll describe that a little more in detail. So we have and this is where, again, frequent enemas, that's going to disrupt your normal beneficial bacteria that resides in your gut. And that environment is so important to maintain that beneficial bacteria, because that bacteria is very key to letting the brain know what's going on in the gut. So there's this superhighway through the vagus nerve. It goes from the gut to the brain to the gut, right? So this information highway is always communicating, letting the brain know what to do with whatever's going on in the colon or the gut. So a properly maintained microbiome, these good beneficial aerobic oxygen-loving bacteria, it's beneficial for aiding in the digestion, right? Digesting food, regulating the immune system. This is another form of communication that this nervous system of ours will send signals to all the different body systems, influencing mental and physical overall health. So who would have ever guessed, if you don't already know, that it's important to have a healthy gut? Right? You have to maintain it. And that means the right foods and water and taking in an abundant amount of fresh fruits, vegetables, berries, all the plant kingdom, where these medicinal foods, these wonderful, delicious, cleansing, healing, anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial foods are going to take care of you and allow the body to do its thing in detoxifying all of these toxins that people come in contact with. And who knows what we have inherited, right? So we have safety awareness. We have to make sure that anything that you research to improve your health, to master your health, right, is to make sure that you're doing it safely and you don't throw your body into a state of panic and in an inflammatory reaction response mode. So we have to make sure that we know which type of scientific research we're looking at, and that usually means peer-reviewed studies. And if it doesn't say, if you look something up on the internet and you're looking at something like detoxification, and after you type in the word detox or whatever your search phrase is, type in the word science journal or scientific research or peer-reviewed science, something like that, and it'll come right up. It'll show you the most credible scientific information that will allow you to be successful in whatever your health goal is, right? So, so some detox or cleansing programs may be unsafe. They could be falsely advertised. They could be making medical claims that they have no business making claims about. And there have been only a small number of studies on the detoxification programs for people. All of these non-scientific, they seem scientific, they seem legitimate, right? You'll go into one of these beautiful centers and they'll treat you like a queen or king, and they'll put you through their program, but it's not always scientifically valid. And that, I searched the internet when I was researching for this presentation to see if somewhere there's some validity to a lot of these programs that are out there, but there is none. I just combed the internet and I could not come up with anything. I was rooting for these detox programs out there. They're expensive and they're successful monetarily, financially for their businesses, but how much successful are they for their patients or their clients? And that's what concerns me. So I'm going to show you some of the things that happen when people take in or use some of these programs. So there's available studies that have been of low quality, right? And that's what I found on the research data, that a lot of these studies there needs to be more studies, right? And high quality studies, meaning peer-reviewed studies mean gathering data from scientists that have done valid scientific work. Sometimes they're questionable. Sometimes you have in-house so-called scientists that companies hire in order to make it sound scientific for their audiences or their customers, right? So we have to be very careful what data we're looking at. So there's study design problems. That's what a peer-reviewed research study is. It pulls out all these poorly designed research, right? So they will kick those out and not consider them as valid. And you have few participants. You need at least 100 or 200 or more, sometimes 1,000 or two, or sometimes a cross section of the whole population in order to gather the right kind of data to make it more valid or to come to the right conclusions, right? So there's lack of peer-reviewed. There's not very many peer-reviewed studies on these types of programs out there, you know. So yeah, I mean, the people that put together these peer-reviewed studies, the ones that pull out all the scientific research out there and evaluate them and pick out only the most credible ones, the most properly designed studies. These people who do this are scholars, you know, they're PhDs. They have been in the scientific arena for many, many years. So they know exactly what they're looking for and what a quality scientific study means. So that's what you always want to do. Otherwise, you'll end up in all these different dead ends, all these alleyways. You'll be led to the wrong information, and you won't have the goal, you know, your goal satisfied as far as what you want to accomplish. All right. So now there's a 2015 and a 2017 peer review. It saw that there was no compelling research to advocate detox diets for healthy weight loss and eliminating toxins from the body. So whenever over through the years, you know, when I had someone who came into me and said, I want a detox, they wanted me to put them on a detox program. They wanted something very fast. They just wanted to, you know, just flush everything out. The body doesn't work that way. It takes a lot longer to get those synthetics out of the body and all the things that have been causing the inflammation that people have been suffering with. So it all starts at the microcell level. You've got to, you know, drink plenty of water to allow the system to flush things through on a regular basis. And you have to eat the whole raw, enzyme active, energy frequency, light energy frequency active whole foods in the plant kingdom. And you have to have quality proteins. All of that combined is what builds your body and maintains it and helps it detoxify and cleanse it. But it won't do it overnight. It does it slowly and gradually. And that's a lot less painful, as you'll see when I, you know, go over some more of this stuff here. Okay, so they're saying that juicing and detox diets can result in initial weight loss due to low calorie intake, but weight gain returns when their habitual or normal diet is resumed. And that's because they're not getting rid of the body fat, you know, that harbors a lot of these synthetics. And sometimes people go on these kinds of things to lose weight. They're just losing their water weight. Their body's starting to waste away their valuable body protein, their muscles, their tendons, you know, their organ tissues, all the structures in their body. The body starts just consuming itself when it's in this famine mode that it perceives. So that's not the way to do it, because once you get thirsty enough and you get weak and fatigued enough, you're going to return to your other habits, right? Your original habits. So that's not the way to do it either. There have been no studies on the long-term effects of detoxification programs. So we don't know, you know, other than people's own testimonials. They'll tell you, oh, I tried this detox diet and that detox diet and nothing ever worked. And, you know, sometimes they'll feel like, okay, I got really sick and I just didn't feel well, and, you know, have all these unnecessary side effects going on. So that's not the way to do it. You have to treat your body with the respect that it deserves and according to how it was designed. That's not how we were designed. So now, you know, a lot of these companies actually got in trouble legally. There's a lot of legal action against a lot of these companies because they're making claims and then they don't have any results. So people aren't very happy with them at all, right? And the government monitors sometimes companies like this, and they find that they're practicing medicine without a license, so to speak, you know, acting like they know what they're doing when actually they just want to sell. I'm not, I'm sure that doesn't apply to everyone out there, but that's just what the data shows. And that's what my clients have told me over the years, right? So legal action, selling detox cleansing products. So they found that they contained hidden ingredients that may have posed a significant health risk. Of course, they can't trace everything down with every single person. They did make false medical claims in their marketing and advertising. Medical devices used for colon cleansing were marketed for unapproved uses. I remember I knew one colon irrigation therapist, and once in a while, when someone came to me extremely clogged and they had already been through under medical care, I went ahead and referred them to the colon irrigation specialist. But we both knew, after me interviewing this person, this specialist, we agreed that it shouldn't be done all the time. Once in a while, when it's really warranted, it helps, get rid of the fecal matter that's stuck in there for years. And so something like that might be warranted. And then, of course, you have to restore your gut flora that we just talked about in the gut. If you do these kinds of cleansings, the colon irrigation, then it's going to destroy the good bacteria in the gut, and that can cause many, many health issues. Okay, so yeah, again, there's better ways to do this. So yeah, colon cleansing procedures may result in side effects, potentially serious in those with gastrointestinal disease, those who've had colon surgery, those with severe hemorrhoids, kidney or heart disease. Okay, so severe calorie restricted or limited diets lead to nutrient deficiencies and do not lead to healthy weight loss. Detox programs may include laxatives, causing diarrhea and lead to malabsorption and dehydration, and also cause you to lose these valuable electrolytes that make your muscles contract, including your heart. Okay, there are other muscles too, micro muscles in your blood vessels, the muscles that push the food down through the esophagus, right? So there's a lot of these muscular actions going on in the body. So if someone is severely dehydrated and are missing some very, very critical electrolytes in the body, then some very bad things could happen. So drinking large quantities of water and fasting for many days in a row leads to, again, dangerous electrolyte imbalances or deficiencies. Fasting can cause headaches, fainting, weakness, and can be signs of dehydration. So fasting and detoxing, they seem to go hand in hand. So now there's risks and hazards of detox programs, and it's kind of reiterating it, but I just like to summarize here. Attempts to detoxify the body rapidly or by taking drastic measures can lead to flu-like symptoms or feelings similar to drug or alcohol withdrawals, causing fatigue, nausea, headaches, irritability, cause the reabsorption of toxins, and can lead to serious health effects. Rapid detoxification, detox products, extreme dietary changes activate the body's inflammatory immune response as the various immune cells and antibodies stimulate the body to shift into metabolic self-preservation mode. And that means inflammation, just all of these toxins that the body produces under stress. It's under duress. You're putting your body under so much stress that it's going into panic mode. So the immune system is constantly engaged with toxins to eliminate them to protect the system from the threat of disease and functional disruptions, especially the critical organs, the heart, the brain, the kidneys, and things you just cannot survive without. So under normal healthy conditions, the human body is very efficient at filtering toxins all on its own through its eliminative channels, and that's the skin, the lungs, the lymph system, the other circulatory system, and the nodes that the lymph blood vessels, go through to filter things out. Kidneys, a great filtration, and gut or large intestine. So these are the 5 main eliminative organs, and there are certainly other ways the body can eliminate toxins, like the liver, the bloodstream, and all these other ways to do this. So if the body is harboring too many foreign substances that are overwhelming these organ systems and its ability to detoxify itself, then all these drastic measures are outlined here will only make matters worse. So deprivation is not the answer. A daily variety of vitamin, mineral rich, and phytonutrient dense, high water content, enzyme active, light energy frequency active whole foods, naturally cleansing whole plant foods provides the safe and effective way to maintain the body's detox capacity. So once your body has these very, very critical nutrients in it in their whole food form, active, viable, form, then the immune system comes in and scoops up whatever it needs, it goes through the inside of our cells and helps the functioning of our cells, helps the cells eliminate toxins that are whatever they may be that are inside there, right? So we have to just purge them out, get them out. And that doesn't mean sweating. It doesn't mean starving. It doesn't mean flooding your system with too much water, which can be dangerous too, or just going into a sauna. None of those things are going to work. It happens at the microcell level. We have to provide the nutrients and the high water content foods and plenty of just bottled at the spring water that's been very cleansed, right? That kind of thing is what the body needs in order to deal with all these toxins and to actually break them down and help your body eliminate them through the different organs. So rapid detoxification is self-defeating. It can put one's health in jeopardy in the short term as well as the long term. If it doesn't do short-term damage, it might do long-term damage if it damages one of your organs. The consequences of toxicity can be delayed or chronic or long-lasting or acute. If a person does this, if they're going to abuse their body over and over again too often, then it could really just put their whole system in danger there. So these are the consequences of detoxing. Commercial detox and body cleanse programs are scientifically unsubstantiated and can pose certain health risks. And that's just what I found in the scientific literature, searching and searching for, it takes me 2 days sometimes to put these presentations together, and I certainly spent that time on this. Claims of eliminating toxins through restrictive diets and various products can lead to nutrient deficiencies, electrolyte imbalances, and therefore result in serious health complications. So extreme calorie restriction or limiting your intake of certain juices or broths can lead to critical nutrient deficiency, malnutrition. So once your body goes into this starvation mode, it perceives a famine. Depriving the body of protein to maintain itself, we're mostly protein besides water, and other nutrients, but protein is our tissues, our structures, our bloodstream, our blood, everything that grows requires protein, and that means animal-derived protein foods. Fats, the right types of fats, and carbohydrates. On this channel, if you haven't seen it already, I have 3 different videos that tell you how to choose the right proteins, how to choose the right fats and avoid the wrong fats, and how to choose the right carbohydrates and avoid the wrong carbohydrates, and of course the health consequences that follow. So these are 3 other videos on this very channel that you are all welcome to look at out there if you haven't seen it already. So they can lead to vitamin and mineral deficiencies because the plant kingdom and even animal tissues have vitamins and minerals in them. So they're very absorbable for us. When it's in whole food form like this, our bodies know exactly what to do to break them down and utilize all these very important nutrients to help detoxify. We use vitamins and minerals to help detoxify as well, right? Again, at the microcell level. So please don't go out there and buy yourself some vitamins and minerals and think you're going to be detoxing your body. They're in the wrong form most of the time. Okay, so you go into starvation mode, right? And they can potentially lead to anemia, a weakened immune system. You're starving your immune system as well. Can lead to low energy, headaches, and dizziness. Again, leads to a slowed metabolic rate, a defensive response to conserve your vital organs, particularly the brain, the kidneys, and the heart. So when your body slows its metabolic rate, that defeats the whole purpose. When you're on a weight loss and you want to cleanse your system for a day, you can even skip a meal and your body will gratefully go ahead and do what it must in between the digestive process, which is a lot of work for the body, breaking things down and utilizing the nutrients and distributing the nutrients. But if you skip a meal once in a while, not all the time, so you have to stay nourished. Every few hours, you have to give your body a wide range of the nutrients that are in healthy whole foods. If you don't, then there's going to be something amiss somewhere down the line. Your body's always looking for these nutrients to do some kind of work at the cell level to maintain your whole system. And if there's one nutrient missing, then it's going to halt that process and go on to something else. And meanwhile, over time, that can create a deficiency in your functioning of, some area in your body. You don't notice it at first because it's at the microcell level, but over time, if you do it a lot and if you become nutrient deficient, you're going to notice some health issues. So detox protocols can lead to electrolyte or mineral imbalances or disturbances. Fasting can cause, again, I know I'm repeating myself, fasting can cause fatigue, nausea, irritability, muscle, and joint pain. So as I picked up and looked at the different scientific data, I picked up a few other things that they were a little bit redundant, sure, but the irritability and muscle and joint pain came up later in my research. So excessive fluid intake without proper food intake can cause a dangerously low blood sodium level. That leads to confusion, headaches, and weakness. Digestive system problems from use of laxative or diuretics, severe diarrhea, dehydration, malabsorption of nutrients. So you need the water and those minerals to absorb other nutrients. An imbalance of electrolytes, including sodium and potassium, can cause a dangerous situation, resulting in heart palpitations, vomiting, seizures, in rare cases, death, especially those with kidney or heart disease. It can do kidney damage, excessive intake of high oxalate foods like the leafy greens and beets. Some people can't handle the oxalate foods, but being scientifically based myself, over the years, I have found that in order to be able to enjoy these leafy greens and the beets, things like that have high oxalate contents, if they're raw, then they have the very enzymes to help break down those oxalates. So if you cook foods too much, then you're going to just have the oxalates without the enzymes to break them down. So they shouldn't be a problem in a healthy person. And that's what I have found over the years. It matches, results match the science. That's the key here. So they can be harmful to those with kidney health conditions. So liver damage, supplements sold as liver cleanses may contain toxic ingredients that cause serious liver injury. And this is just the results, right? Just combing the data and finding out over time what happens when people go on these detox programs. Intestinal injury from colon cleansing procedures like colon irrigation, certain enemas. They can cause tears, intestinal wall damage from excessive pressure or improper techniques. So you have to have a practitioner who knows what they're doing if they're going to clean out the colon. Disruption of metabolic rate. Prolonged calorie restriction can slow down metabolism, put you in starvation mode. When the detox, oh my goodness, I need to plug in my computer. Sorry about that. Alrighty. So yeah, they disrupt the metabolic rate. So when this detox or starvation diet is stopped and normal eating is resumed, the body rebounds and is more prone to converting more calories into stored fat in anticipation of the next famine. So it thinks it's in a famine, and that's not something you want in long-term health weight management or having a cleansed system. So again, they found that there's not any scientific evidence that actually prove that all of these different programs actually work. Scientific studies and health authorities have found no credible research that supports effectiveness of commercial detoxification programs. By commercial, it can be, someone's holistic health center, not to put them down. They're doing wonderful work out there otherwise, or even in a medical setting, Studies on detox diets have been small and of low quality, so we need more scientific research out there. There's not enough substantiated evidence that detox programs will remove toxins or lead to sustainable weight loss. Some products may contain ingredients not listed on the label, opening up the risk of adverse reactions and overdose, and you won't even know where it comes from. Substance withdrawal. We have to mention that, because that's a form of toxicity in the body. Detoxing from drugs or alcohol can cause more severe symptoms like tremors, sweating, confusion, and extreme cases, seizures. So the scientific research outside of this presentation tonight shows that, intense nutrient therapy has been shown to help people who are trying to detox from drugs and alcohol. Okay, so yeah, that's a whole nother subject, Okay, so healing crisis, the body goes into this crisis, right? It describes a temporary worsening of symptoms when the body's waste products are released into the circulatory system as the body tries to neutralize and or eliminate them. So here we go. Now here is the good news. The botanicals for real system cleansing through the body's detoxifying organs. So we give the body what it needs and it goes to work and it does what it needs to do to cleanse itself, to protect itself. Okay, so herbal detoxification has been found to boost the body's inherent detoxifying organs, along with a healthy diet, like the one I mentioned, to maintain biochemical balance or system homeostasis. So the system is always trying to get back to that certain biochemical balance so things run smoothly in the body. When things go wrong, that's when it goes out of balance, and that's when it goes into panic mode, inflammatory responses, all these different things. So the body is always trying to get itself back to that balance. The only way to keep it in that balance is to nourish yourself completely and correctly. Any proper herbal detox protocol must include a proper diet and consisting of a full range of vitamins and minerals and active enzymes and raw foods, foods that have been grown in nutrient-rich soils and in organically, balanced ecologies. So if you have an organic farm or if you're growing food, regeneratively or in a food forest, which is called permaculture, then your nutrients are going to be much higher and your food is going to be much more cleansing and detoxifying and anti-inflammatory and antimicrobial and all these good things that our plant kingdom offers us. Okay, so yeah, you need that kind of healthy, balanced diet. And this is the work that I do. I will show you the books that I've written just for this purpose. Different detoxification categories, according to types of toxins, may require different botanicals. So we've got botanicals to help different organisms, heavy metal detoxification, alcohol or drug detox. And this is not to replace any medical care. I want to reemphasize that. I am not a medical doctor. I introduce the scientific research behind cleansing, healing foods, nourishing foods that aid the body's own healing and optimized capacity. Okay, so detoxifying the liver, we've got all these different toxins, right, that harm the liver. Again, environmental pollutants, bad dietary habits, alcohol, prescription and over-the-counter usage. Now, the NSAIDs, the ibuprofen and the aspirin and naproxen sodium, I have videos on this YouTube channel. I covered these extensively in these other videos, so please view those. If you're taking those right now, please educate yourselves and look to see what the horrific side effects are, especially long-term, for taking in these over-the-counter drugs. Okay, science needs to improve these kinds so that they're not harmful. So there should not be any side effects of anything like this. So overuse of certain herbs. Now, there are certain herbs that will overload the liver. And it will, if you're drinking aloe vera and if you're scraping the raw aloe vera gel from your aloe vera plants and you're spooning it in all the time, that's going to hurt your liver. It won't damage it unless you do it in the long term and start damaging it. But the liver is very recoverable often, not always, depends on how bad off it is, but it will recover from the aloe vera. So just don't abuse these very potent plants that are designed to do so many things for the body, not just for the liver. So aloe vera, be very careful with that, especially if the raw stuff. If it's watered down, as a drink, then it's going to be less toxic. I should say toxic because that's what happens when the liver gets overwhelmed and overloaded. But aloe vera is a very, very healthy, very healing plant and but not be abused. Same with black cohosh and cascara and comfrey root and ephedra and kava. So there has been some bad press about ephedra in the past, people who have overused it, just abused it. We have to respect these botanicals and always, always do your research on any botanical you want to use and make sure you're looking at peer-reviewed science. And that's why I wrote the book, Potent Superfoods for Lifelong True Health. All the science has been researched for you and it's all in one tome, one desk reference, scientific reference book for you. All right, I'll show you how to order that for those of you who are interested. And the links are always below the description box. All right, so here's a chart. Now, these scientists found that these particular plants will help detoxify the liver. They list all the phytochemical compounds that are in these different plants. Look at all of these wonderful cleansing compounds that help the body, and they describe the mechanism of action. So this particular ginger root, they have been found, of course, I have this whole section on ginger root in my book, and it does a lot more, but this is just what the scientists found, that it will protect you against any damage caused by acetaminophen. The dandelion is very cleansing too, and it just helps your body with how it utilizes its fats and will not allow your body to accumulate too much of the triglycerides that tend to form in the body. Now, if you're eating a lot of sugar, and a lot of fats in your diet, then you're going to have triglyceride levels that are too abundant, unhealthy levels of triglycerides. Of course, they're going to be converted to body fat anyway, eventually, but you don't want to overload your body. But the dandelion has been shown to help inhibit some of that and cleanse, the liver. So then we have milk thistle, and here is all the things that it does, some of the things that it does. So it helps with the, how your body produces more protein, cells, animal muscles, and just different structures and tissues in the body. And it will not allow the body to form too many these fibrins or little scar-like things that are produced under injury, micro injuries that happen in the body. It's anti-inflammatory and it helps the immune system to modulate. Okay, alfalfa, it's actually a plant steroid, it helps, it's like a precursor to all the different hormones the body makes. The hormones can go haywire too when a person is on a severe detox or starvation diet, kind of thing. And it also helps with cholesterol in the blood. Turmeric, that's another superstar. It helps with all of these inflammatory responses. It interferes with certain inflammatory pathways so that it calms down the inflammation response, but it also does a lot of the healing work too at the cell level. So that's what happens when your body is nourished, then it's going to have the nutrients it needs to heal itself, and therefore you won't have a lot of inflammation. Once the problem is gone, there's no reason for the body to respond that way. So then I'm going to go through the rest of them a little more quickly, but you see that green tea and coffee will help detoxify the skin. And of course, members, you have access to this PDF file in the member area. So all of you out there, if you're not members yet, you have so much more information you have access to as a member. And I'll show you how, I'll tell you a little bit about how to join as a member too. All right, so coffee. And then for detoxifying the kidneys, the scientists found that they list the scientific names, which are known universally throughout the world, but some of them I was not familiar with. They must be from other countries, right? But the common name is called large caltrops. And of course, they have many common names depending on where they're growing in different countries. But this particular one is great for, okay, so yeah, it's in India, actually. That's right, it is. So yeah, it's anti-ulcerogenic. It gets rid of ulcers, repairs the tissues and ulcers. It protects the kidneys, and it's got all these wonderful features in this particular plant. And then we've got Trigonella. The common name is Soumph, and I don't know what country that's from. I have not ever heard of it. Trigonella, though, is from a classification of different plants. So I have heard that first term in other plants. But again, it's anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, doesn't allow the body to degenerate into toxic, derivatives. And then we've got the turmeric again. It'll help the kidneys level of urea that it urinates out, things like that. Just a great aid to how the kidneys are functioning. So then we've got detoxifying the gallbladder. We've got all these different, like creeping Charlie, ground ivy, or cat's foot. Those are the common names for this particular detoxifying, plant. And the psyllium husk, that's just a certain kind of fiber, and that's found in, different plants. So, the gallbladder requires certain actions as far as maintaining how your body uses fats. Detoxifying the heart. So we've got garlic, and a plant called crested fever nut, And again, the research is limited out there. I really had to dig for this information to find ways that these botanicals on this planet can actually help your body detoxify properly. And I'll show you some other botanicals too that will help detoxify. And they're in my book, which tells you the scientific data, is how the body will detoxify using these botanicals. So, you've got to maintain proper hydration. You have to make sure your blood is not too thick and not too thin. If it's too thick, then it can't move nutrients. It can't deliver oxygen, and it'll create friction and damage blood vessels. So, it stimulates an inflammatory response. The immune system is always monitoring. So is the hormonal system. It's talking to the nervous system all the time. So together, They tell each other what's happening in the body. So please stay hydrated so that you can have the right blood flow in your body. It's so, so important. Of course, if you're dehydrated, then you're going to have higher blood pressure. It's going to impair your kidneys, so drink several glasses of water every day. So you have to do a sensible, gentle, gradual detoxification, and that way you won't feel all of those terrible side effects that we mentioned here tonight. Okay, and you'll have the benefit of all of these nutrients that the body can use to avoid all of that unnecessary and system malfunctioning. So cleansing the body is a daily thing. Your food should be your medicine. Your medicine should be your food. And that means helping your body detoxify properly every day, not drastically, just part of its general, maintenance routine. And that way it won't go into this panic mode. So yeah, you don't want that discomfort of any dramatic detoxification reaction in your body. Just a gentle, gradual approach. It's the best long term in order to avoid all those severe negative experiences. That can be so discouraging, can't it? If you're in pain because you're trying to detox, or your body just doesn't seem to be working right, trying to do this detox thing in your mind, you want to get rid of the toxins. Again, that's not the way to do it. This is the only way your body can recognize how to properly do this, other than the medical procedures like chelation, everything else that they do in hospitals for severe toxic conditions in a body of someone who has been poisoned or something like that, right? So everybody in this civilization should be working together, should be your team to help you maintain your body. So maintaining a cleansed system, long-term health. This is it. Drink plenty of water, the right kind of water, not tap water. It has to be spring water, bottled spring water, or filtered through a micron sized water filter, like the Berkey filter. That's mentioned on my website, so I'll show you the website in a moment. So eating a balanced diet, again, all those wonderful plant foods, limit or avoid alcohol and processed foods, all of those processed foods. Look at my video on carbohydrates and you'll see what I mean. They are even more culprits for more dangerous things that they do to the body. Get enough sleep. That is so important. I think I have a video on this channel too, the importance of sleep. I'm pretty sure I do. Exercise regularly. That's another great way to detoxify. It increases your circulation. It processes everything, all the bad things out very quickly. So exercise, regular exercise, just is so, so beneficial. It does so many things. It shifts your entire body into this more efficient mode. So here's some other botanicals. They're just regular foods that I picked out of my book really quickly. So we've got broccoli, burdock root. That's a very important cleansing plant. It's been shown to work very well with people who have certain diseases that I can't mention here. Chia seed and aloe vera water, that combination has been found to be very beneficial as well. Chives, cilantro, it can actually bind to aluminum and help your body get rid of it so that your brain doesn't accumulate aluminum, which is kind of the main foundations for a lot of the dementia problems. Coriander seed, that's the same plant from cilantro, only it's the seed. And black coffee without the sweeteners, just a plain black organic coffee. It has its benefits. Dandelion flower, fennel, garlic, green tea. Green tea is so popular for so many things. It comes up all the time because of the wonderful plant compounds in it. Lemon, cucumber, mint water. That sounds delicious. Milk thistle, mustard greens, onion, papaya, parsley. Parsley is also very good. Pineapple, coconut water. Pineapple is the bomb when it comes to helping your body get rid of toxins. Spinach and turmeric tea. And again, spinach has oxalates in it. But if you have a raw food diet along with your proteins and the right other types of fats and carbs, then you're going to be able to break down that. And it should not, with all these anti-inflammatory foods in your system, the oxalates should not bother you. Spinach is a very, very good superfood. Okay, so now we're getting toward the end here. This is the Potent Superfoods for Lifelong True Health book that I always advocate. It took me months to research and put together, and I'm very proud of it. And it's been very effective for so many people. I know some of my members have this book, and they have found it very, very invaluable because I did the scientific research and I put together 109 scientific monographs outlining the health benefits of 109 botanicals. It has a database, just a different reference sources right inside the book. And of course, I'm going to show these links to the members once the video is off. I don't want to take a lot of time for the public out there. I just never want to make too long of a video. I want to keep your attention. But yeah, when I stop the video here, I'm going to show the members who are here tonight a little bit more about these other types of detox programs that are out there. So if you'd like to know more of this information, then please join as a member, and I'll show you how to do that in a moment. All right, so here are the scientific references that I combed the internet for, and I found all the information that I revealed to you tonight through these peer-reviewed studies. All righty, so yeah, as a member, they can go in and click on these links and just go to these scientific research studies and look at even more detail that I try to summarize, tonight for everyone. But there's so much more information that you can learn when you look at these scientific references. Okay, so yeah, the Potent Superfoods for Lifelong True Health is on sale on my website, holisticchoices.com/books by Mary Esther Gilbert. Just go to holisticchoices.com, and on the left side, you'll see Books by Mary Esther Gilbert. Click on that, and you'll see all these books there, and there's descriptions there for every book, and there's a video describing the book as well for every single one of these books. Okay, so again, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please feel free to subscribe and like, and if you can, if you're inclined, to share this video. So the more people view this out there on the internet, the more you share and like, and subscribe, then this puts the video in front of more and more people. So yes, I want to get this kind of information out to as many people as possible. Okay, so yeah, to become a member, again, you go to holisticchoices.com. I'll take you there momentarily. And so, yeah, here is the website. So you just click on True Health Mastery Institute, and I already have it lined up here. And you read all about all the advantages of being a member. I take very good care of my members. They're all very, very special to me. I appreciate them all, and I appreciate you viewers out there too. I appreciate you subscribing to my channel. And so if you want to join, you just click the join button, and it's a very easy process, hopefully. And so this will tell you more about what you get as a member. Okay, so yeah, just go ahead and hit the join button. If you have questions, just put your name and email address and ask your question, and I'll be glad to answer it for you. Alrighty, so that is what I have for everyone tonight. I'm going to stop the share. And members, hang in there with me so we can get more information. Thank you very much for visiting my channel, and I hope to see you back again. See you next time. This is Mary Esther Gilbert signing out. See you later, everyone.